The first scarecrow. It appeared at the corner near my bachelor apartment. Well, the first scarecrow that was actually reported on, as best as I can find. I actually remember seeing it from my balcony when I was getting ready to head out in the morning. It had been pouring rain all night, but it was finally slowing down just as I was gearing up, and I stepped out to get a feel on the weather. I barely noticed it at first. Across from the 24-hour convenience, hung up on a pole from the nearest streetcar stop. Soaked denim jeans hung to the grimy sidewalk. Above that was a mottled, mustard yellow sweater, one arm of which was fully unraveling. Both arms were spread wide open, tied to a plank behind it. It could have been confused for a person, if not for the head. It was a plastic, black garbage bag, tied at the neck and tucked into the shirt. Droplets of water kept their form on the smooth, plastic and wrinkles alike, giving it an almost compound eye look. I stared at it from afar for some time, trying to figure out what it was doing there. This was mid-September. It was too early for Halloween. But I thought, hey, if supermarkets are already stocking Christmas decorations, what constitutes too early? That was September 19th, to be specific, and that scarecrow didn't garner all that much attention. Some confused transit passengers, some photos popping up online. Then someone, at some point, took it down and threw it out, it's assumed. But it only escalated from there. And as I stare out into the snowstorm tonight, my hands are shaking as I try to imagine what's coming next. That's why I'm compiling this timeline of events. Maybe some things will start to make sense if I sort it out. Maybe there will be a picture of why any of this is happening. September 28th. Two more pop up. One, a bit farther downtown, under a bridge near the waterfront. The second, hung from a streetlight by a kids' park. The second was the first one to catch real public attention. Concerned parents were not too happy with this creepy thing suddenly hanging there out of nowhere. The police were called. The police being involved also meant this was the first time that we got any official word on the insides of these grotesque figures. In their report, they simply stated it was filled with newspaper, food wrappers, and other assorted garbage. Nothing to be concerned about, a harmless prank. September 29th. Only one day later, 3 more scarecrows, each in an entirely separate area of the city. Same basic description. People started to develop their own theories about them, thinking they were a publicity stunt, an art installation, a threat. Nothing held much weight though, especially since no one was taking credit for putting them together, or even, more impressively, putting them up without being seen. For the next couple of weeks, things aren't too notable. More of them appear, but by this time, we sort of got used to them. October 13th. An ambulance was called to the first injury. At 11:15 p.m, a 24-year-old woman was out drinking with her friends when they came across a scarecrow strung up outside a McDonald's just a block from the bar. They crowded around it to get a selfie, and the woman, she pretended to sit on its lap. Here are her words from a news interview. "We'd seen them around, and no one had ever, had any issues with them. But when I leaned against it for the picture, I felt this sharp pain in my back, and, I freaked out. I got away from it, and my friends started freaking out too, 'cause, my back was f***ing covered in blood. I was so f***ing scared." That scarecrow was stuffed with large shards of glass, along with nails and dirt. The woman needed 12 stitches and a veritable cocktail of preventative injections that I don't need to list here. October 14th. The police issue a statement stating that the culprits of these hazardous creations will be brought to justice, and of course, that anyone with any information as to these matters needs to contact them immediately. This made it clear that this was no longer nothing to be concerned about. It also made it clear that the month between the first scarecrow and that point had given them no clues as to who was responsible. The police from then on responded to the area of just about every new scarecrow to cordon it off safely and take it apart. The scarecrows continued to appear more frequently every day. October 28th. An off-duty police officer shattered his tibia and multiple bones in his right foot when he tried to take apart a scarecrow and found it full of cinder blocks. The force saw this as a direct response to their efforts to stop these events, and in effect, a direct attack. November 1st. Another event I witnessed personally. I was out on a lunch break and I heard a woman screaming. I, along with a small group of people, ran to the noise and found her on her knees, screaming at 911 over her phone, hysterically explaining to them that a scarecrow was holding a baby. I stayed with the woman, but saw a few people walk off down the street. I could see the shape, strapped to the tree, a stained white plastic bag for a head, its arms not spread like the others, but identifiably holding something close to its chest. Shortly after, everyone was moved back as the police arrived, along with paramedics. The woman continued to sob, but the people who checked the situation out before the police told her that there was nothing but dead leaves and trash swaddled to the scarecrow. November 6th. Several news sites began reporting used needles found in multiple scarecrows. I can't find any reports corroborating these claims, but it's possible they were found and done away with without involving the police for whatever reason. I think it may have just been faulty reporting, but worth mentioning at the very least to illuminate the frenzy we were moving towards. November 12th. Flashing lights filled the night as fire engines wailed. The count ended up being approximately 22 scarecrows that inexplicably went up in flame at the same time across the city. No outstanding damage was done, but people started moving away by the hundreds. November 13th. The first snow hit, which only ramped up the frequency. The scarecrows started piling up in the gutters, on the roads, in the parks. started working from home. They found a 7-year-old dead in the street. Nearby, there was a ratty old glove filled with pills. They looked like candy. November 16th. A friend of mine was out getting groceries when she stepped on a scarecrow buried in the snow. She described it as a squashing sound as she slipped and fell into whatever the half-frozen gunk was. She said it smelled like putrid juice, like the liquid was trickles from a garbage bag, mixed with blood. She now has a skin infection on her face and hands. She's leaving in January. November 20th. Disease starts spreading. In the lungs, in the stomach, in the blood. We didn't know the source, but we knew that it was only happening to us, here. Those who stayed here no longer felt safe. At that point, you couldn't go 2 blocks without seeing one, no matter how hard the police were trying to dispose of them. So, people just stopped leaving their homes. November 27th. 4 adult men went rogue, searching the streets for whoever was doing this. At 2:03 a.m., they called 911 to report that they'd found a newly set up scarecrow, and they were horrified with what they found. The reports warned against vigilante justice and said that they found nothing but the usual newspaper and garbage in the scarecrow. In contrast, I got in contact with one of the men who explained the following to me. I don't care what the police found. I know what we saw. I can still smell it. There were organs in there. Wet, bloody, human organs, wrapped in all that trash. We watched them shrivel up and die in the body. So of course the police didn't find them, but they were there. December 1st. Businesses have started shutting down. I got laid off. I don't know how I'm going to afford my place. This isn't helping anything. I don't think there's any reason for this happening. I don't think anyone is doing this. But I can see outside my balcony, through the wind and the sheets of snow. There's more of them. They weren't there when I first started writing. I could go look. I could see for myself. Peel that shiny black plastic away to reveal the rotting teeth beneath. Watch the flesh decay and petrify and turn to detritus with my own eyes. And then, maybe the cold will take me. And maybe there will be a new scarecrow left behind.